Shalom, shalom, family. How's everybody doing today? Listen, I brought you into my office because I want to do a video today that's slightly different than the videos I've been doing. This one's going to be a tutorial on music creation, and specifically using a digital audio workstation, otherwise known as a DAW. There's many DAWs out there. There's free DAWs out there. There's expensive DAWs out there. But they all pretty much do the same thing. That's give you the ability to record, edit, mix, music creation. So let's get into it and go with the tutorial. Come along. Shalom. Hey, so welcome to my desktop. We are going to open up some things here. The digital audio workstation, that we will be using for today's tutorial will be Ableton Live 12. And I have some templates here, and I'm going to open it up from a template so that you guys can see what I mean here by certain things. Open up an instrumental template. There's a quick little something. As Live opens up, I'll let you know what Live does. So, like I mentioned before, using a digital audio workstation is perfect for audio, music creation, for recording audio and MIDI, for editing audio and MIDI, and for mixing. And you can do all these parameters on here. So what I've opened up and what you see in front of you is a template that I have for an instrumental template. Basically, when I want to work on, let's say, a hip-hop, EDM, or R&B instrumental, I'll open up this, and each track has different parameters, buses, groups, and plugins that are saved on there in order for the workflow to be as seamless and as smooth and as possible, because that's what's important about dealing with all these things. Obviously, there's so much that you can do that you can kind of get overwhelmed and drowned in all of the things if you're not accustomed to the workflow. So my advice is, and as you can see right here, you can record, arm it here. My advice is to be as organized as possible. Be as organized as possible, because there's more to just recording. There's more to just making sounds. There's making it at the right quality and of the right frequential value. So let's get into it. And some of the things I have here, first and foremost, organization, labeling, coloring, very important. So what I like to do is, let's say if I have an original here that I'm going to use, that I'm going to sample, an original record or something like that, I'll put it on here or record it on here. And then I will do my chops, and most of my chops are done here. You know, I'll do my little chops of the samples. And then what I do is, it's either going into an MPC sequence from MPC machines that I work with, and or I'm putting it into Live itself on a drum rack and using an MPD, as you can see down here, using these pads to activate each sound. That's me tapping on the pads. All right, so like I said, have your groups. In Live, they call them groups. In Pro Tools, they're called buses. Each digital audio workstation has some of the same vernacular, but sometimes they're a little different. So what you want to have is your little groups. I'll have groups for samples and loops, you know, that I do different things for. Samples, and I put them in different colors as well. This way you can easily identify them in a large session, because this is the editing mode. But when you get into mix mode, you got all of this here, and it's a lot. And there's a reason why I break all of these down. So let's get back into editing mode. So like I said, you got the originals here, and then what I do is I put, like, you know, VSTs are kind of like instruments, uh, contact, and other different things that you can put on there. For example, should have some piano on there. I don't know if that got picked up on the audio or not. I have some synths. So basically my pianos, pianos and stuff like that I use for contact go here for my VSTs. I use them as layers. I use them initially to build a foundation. If the melody or the sound sounds right, I use it later on in layers. So this is basically the what they call scratch of your musical compilation. And you got over here, you got drums. You could put in drum loops. You got different drums. You could put in kicks, snares, claps, toms, all this other stuff. You know, your 808s and your bass engines. Like I said, I colorize them in different categorizes in order for quick identification. You know, so that's organization. Making sure that your groups or your buses are color coordinated, labeled, and they're organized. You know, it helps with the workflow. The next thing you want to do is you want to put on each track that you're working on. For example, let's go over here to a nice kick. All right, so here's the track that I just activated here. I just armed it on the MIDI. And this, like I said, if sounds are added to it, it will be here, and I'll be able to play this kick. But there's something on the chain, and each track should have a chain on there. And let me show you a little bit of what I'm working with on a chain so you can see what I'm saying here. All right, what we'll have is, for example, I'll run this kick through an SSL channel strip, and once I run it through the channel strip, I'm running it to a 1073 clone, the Waves 1073 Schwelps. And then after that, you want to bounce it to a compressor. Some people put compressors before EQs. I guess it's a preference on how you mold and shape the sound. And then I throw another EQ at the end of that, the Fab Q. That's more for mixing, but you want to remember that your mix begins on your record, on your recording. So, you know, your mic placement, your performance of the recording, all of this plays a factor in the mix. But these are tools to help with the chain before you do these things to give the quality of the sound come a little bit more where you want to shape it. This way, mixing it later is a little bit easier. All of this is a part of good organization. You want to put good chains on your tracks and good chains on your buses or groups. Okay? Initially to start. And then, you know, after that, there's nothing else left to do but to enjoy, you know. Let me show you how that's played out. I had one of these templates. I'm going to use one of the same template format that I had and open up a session that I've put some sounds on and messed with a little bit so you can see these things played out. We're going to start with this here. We're going to solo it. So how I started out here is that I had this loop that I'm about to play. I added a little bit of sound design, as you can see down here. I put a little flanger on there and a little delay, and you know, messed with it a little bit that way. You'll hear it right now. So that's what that sound sounds like. And what I did was I used a little trick in sound design. And I took that very same loop and I chopped it up into different excuse me. And that's this track right here. And what I added on there was a little bit of guitar rig to make it sound like a guitar. And this is what that sounds like. So ultimately, you have about 2 layers of sounds, but with sound design and with clever ways of doing things, you can make it seem as if there's more than there's actually there. Using spatial awareness in your sound design, you can make things almost float around in stereo. So what I did was I used different pieces that I liked. Some of the things I do is use reverse. A reverse is an interesting sound. It does something in the psychology of a human being. And I added some samples and some drums. Now these drums, I have 2 types of drums on here. I have shout out to Matt Spencer, man. The man Matt Spencer doing his thing. He's got some awesome drum loops. He's an awesome drummer, and I like his sounds. I got 2 here from him that I've used, and like I said, I use reverse sometimes to bring things out in sound design. And then I layered it with some programmed drums over here. Now, mind you, this is all scratch. This is all in idea mode. This is what I was feeling and just a couple of sounds that I put together in feeling. And we'll be able to hear what that sounds like. Once it gets over here, I messed with a little bit of a bass line. And let's hear what all that sounds like with the drums. As you can see, the drums come in around here. Press around a little bit with reverse. So there you go, an idea with a collection of sounds used together for music creation. And of course, articulate a little bit more, maybe put a little bit more programming in there, see what you can do with the mixing on it and the arrangements, and you can tone it to be something that you want it to be. I hope this helped. Pray much blessings over you all. Hallelujah. Shalom. So that has been my tutorial. I hope that wasn't too strenuous for you, but it's real simple, guys. With a little bit of structure, organization, you can step to things and knock it out the park. Real easy. We got plenty of creativity in us. There's plenty of tools that exist. So enjoy life and do it. Shalom, shalom. Much blessings, much blessings.